Ladies and gentlemen, something happened yesterday.
The members of parliament have just concluded voting.
And if you're William Samoei Ruto, it should actually terrify you. Because for the first time since he became president, the mask may have slipped.
It is official that the finance bill of 2026 has passed.
You see, yesterday Parliament voted for the finance bill of 2026. Now, the bill passed, but that is not the story. The story is who did not show up.
122 members of parliament voted for the bill.
Because when the votes were actually counted, only 122 MPs actually showed up to support the government's own finance bill. Let me repeat that. The president's own bill and only 122 MPs actually stood with him. Now, compare that to 2024.
Honorable members, the results of that division is as follows. Ayes, 195.
In 2023, 197 MPs voted for it. Can you see the pattern? The numbers are collapsing, and the question is very simple. Is Gachagwa's prophecy already coming true?
Nimeona William Ruto analia machozi, amekataliwa na Wakenya wote, amerudi nyumbani.
Let's talk about it.
If you love this kind of content, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Now let's get to the video.
There are people within government who are also consulting with us. We will protect their identity. We have those who want to come at night, they are welcome. The Nicodemus of this world. We still need their contribution because they are Kenyans.
You see, there is something that Rigathi Gachagua has been saying for months. Again and again, he keeps repeating one thing, that nobody is actually really with President William Samoei Ruto. According to Gachagua, many of the people standing next to the president today are only there temporarily. The governors, the senators, the MPs, the cabinet secretaries, the principal secretaries, they are all waiting for the right moment. They are all waiting for some sort of a signal. They are waiting for the right opportunity so that they can actually jump ship.
And most of them are very uncomfortable with this government, but they still need a salary. But they are advising us and telling us what pitfalls to avoid.
Politics has one rule. Politicians will follow power, but then politicians will also follow the votes. Not loyalty. They're going to follow the votes. Now, I want you to look at exactly what happened yesterday.
The National Assembly voted to pass a controversial bill with 122 MPs voting for it.
122 MPs. That is not the number of a confident government. That is the number of a government with a problem, a serious problem.
The delegations that have come here for the last 2 days are clear that DCP is a party of choice.
And this is what makes the situation even more interesting, because some of the people who were actually missing yesterday are not opposition figures.
Kila mtu nionyeshe 2 term ya Mheshimiwa Ruto.
These are the people who spend their weekends praising the president. People who tell us that Ruto deserves 2 terms.
Hakuna mtu ameongoza Kenya hii miaka 5. Na hata hiyo kura isipojaa tutajasa.
People who actually tell us that the government is doing a fantastic job. People who never miss an opportunity to defend the state house.
Mimi nimekuja kama hapa pia kuja kuomba 2 term ya president wetu.
But when it came to the vote, they disappeared. Now, why would someone who supports the president every day fail to show up for the president's most important bill? That is the question, because actions speak louder than any press conference. Actions speak louder than any political speech. And yesterday's actions were very loud.
Moranga County Governor Irungu Kangata. We're asking the question, is this the migration season? And we're not talking about the wildebeest migration. We're talking about politics 2027.
Perhaps the clearest example is Kangata. You see, Kangata recently admitted something that many politicians already know. The ground has actually changed. The mood has changed. The people have changed.
UDA ina ushawishi.
Unasema mtu yote atakayesimama na UDA atanguka?
Bila shaka kwetu. Kweli. Ya hiyo ndio kweli.
Gavana anavutulia. Mtu yote anayesimama na UDA Mlima Kenya anaanguka.
Itakuwa ngumu.
Politicians are actually now going back to their constituencies. They are listening and they are hearing something they don't like. They are hearing anger, they are hearing frustrations, they are hearing rejection. They are realizing that supporting Ruto publicly may not help them keep their seats. And suddenly, many of them are beginning to rethink their loyalties.
Yeah, I suspect in the next 2, 3, 4 months, you'll see a lot of defection because so many people are hiding They are not agreeing to be candid. They are not agreeing to talk the truth, but they know it. In fact, we are far much better because we have disclosed our political stance.
This story is not even actually about Ruto. Not entirely. The biggest story is about Parliament itself. Now, let us look at the numbers. 122 voted for the bill, 40 voted against it. That gives us a rough of 160 MPs who actually participated. Yet, Parliament is made up of over 300 members. So, where was everybody else? Where were they?
162 MPs are the ones who remembered they had a job. Okay? Wakatokea House of Legislature leo. Our extra wenye wanajaza up to 300, kazi yao ni gani? Si wa resigned.
You see, finance bill, this is not a minor motion. This is one of the most important votes that any MP can actually ever participate in. This bill affects taxes. It affects businesses. It affects jobs, cost of living. Basically, it affects every Kenyan. And yet, almost half of the parliament was actually absent. So, how does that happen?
Is it that 187 MPs were not there, or 187 MPs don't care?
This is the question that is making every single Kenyan very uncomfortable. Because if your MP did not show up yesterday, who represented you? Who spoke for your constituency? Who defended your interests? Who voted on your behalf? The answer is simple. Nobody. And that should worry us more than anything else. Because MPs are not elected to attend funerals. They're not elected to make noises on television. They're actually elected to represent the people, us. That is their primary job. And yesterday, many of them failed at that job.
Bunge iko na 349 members of parliament. Wenye wamevote ni 162. 122 for yes, 40 for no. Where was 187 members of parliament?
You know, people often blame Ruto for everything. And yes, the president deserves criticism. But parliament has really failed Kenyans. Because even when the president misbehaves, a strong parliament can actually stop him. A strong parliament can hold him accountable. A strong parliament can reject bad policies. And a strong parliament can even impeach a president. But what happens when the parliament itself becomes very, very weak? What happens when the MPs themselves stops representing wananchi? That is how governments become untouchable. And many Kenyans realized this in June of 2024.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm here to address you. You must go. Ruto must go.
That is why parliament became a target of public anger. People felt betrayed, and many still do.
187 members of MP. You have voted yes also. 187 plus 122. Yes.
Now, here's where things get complicated. Because yes, some MPs are abandoning Ruto. That part is true. But does that automatically mean that things are going to improve? Not necessarily. Because many of these MPs are now trying to reinvent themselves. They are trying to join the opposition. They are trying to position themselves for 2027. They are trying to survive politically. But there is a danger. You see, the danger is that the voter forgets. The danger is that the same MPs who failed to represent us today could be rewarded with another term tomorrow. And that would be a disaster.
Nyinyi ni wajinga kiasi gani? How foolish are you, members of parliament from this region? When the history of this community is written, the members of parliament from this community will have a whole chapter of the most foolish leaders ever elected in the Mount Kenya region.
So yes, yesterday's vote revealed something important. William Ruto's support inside parliament is shrinking. The numbers don't lie. 122 is not 204. 122 is not 197. Something is happening. But the bigger lesson is this. Do not just watch the president. Watch your MP. Because long after presidents come and go, it is parliament that decides whether power is checked or abused.
We need to know where our win is. Our win is 175 MPs. The moment we get 175 MPs, in fact, if I was Sifuna today, I'd not even struggle so much. I just use that influence to go to every constituency and earmark and tell them we need an MP here.
And this is the
Yes, so once you have the 175, it is clear that these are the pro-people MPs. So no bad bill will ever pass in that parliament, even if that guy never becomes president.
If MP cannot show up even for the most important vote of the year, then maybe the problem isn't just State House. Maybe the problem is sitting much closer to home. Subscribe.